If you're about to buy a Sony camera right now, stop for a moment. Seriously, pause the checkout page. Because the next camera in Sony's lineup, the rumored Sony A7V, could be the one decision that makes you either very happy you waited or deeply annoyed that you didn't. At the time of recording this, Sony has not officially announced the A7V. There is no final spec sheet, no launch date, no teaser. What we do have is Sony's recent behavior, the direction of the camera market, and a very clear pattern of what Sony usually does next. This is not fantasy. This is not a wish list full of impossible specs. This is a grounded, realistic look at what the Sony A7V is likely to be and whether it makes sense for you to wait or buy something that already exists. No hype, no fear tactics, just logic. The reason this camera matters so much is simple. The A7 line is Sony's sweet spot. It is not an extreme flagship like the A9 series. It is not a niche low-light monster like the A7S III. It is not a high-resolution studio beast like the A7RV. The A7 line is the workhorse. The camera for people who do a bit of everything. If you shoot weddings, portraits, events, travel, YouTube videos, corporate work, documentaries, family content, or client projects, this is the line designed for you. One camera, many jobs. That balance is why the A7 III became legendary. It wasn't perfect, but it did almost everything well enough to build entire careers around it. The A7 IV pushed that idea forward. More resolution, better video, better autofocus, but it also raised expectations. Today, creators expect mid-range cameras to act like mini cinema cameras. They expect strong photo performance and serious video features in one body. That means the A7V doesn't just need to be slightly better. It needs to make sense in a market where Canon, Nikon, and even Sony's own lineup are putting pressure on it. Let's start with the heart of the camera, the sensor. Sony has no real reason to move away from the 30 to mid-30s megapixel range. The 33 megapixel sensor in the A7 IV already hit a very good balance. Enough resolution for professional work, cropping, and large prints, without destroying storage or slowing down computers. Expect something close to that again. Maybe a small bump. Maybe not. The real improvement will not be the megapixel count. It will be the processing behind it. Sony has been quietly improving its image pipelines, AI-driven processing, and noise handling in newer cameras. If that tech comes to the A7V, photographers can expect cleaner shadows, more flexible files, and better color handling in difficult lighting. Skin tones should look more natural. Mixed lighting should be easier to manage. Highlights should roll off more gently. This matters more than raw numbers. For photographers, this means you can protect highlights, underexpose slightly, and recover images without your files falling apart. Wedding dresses, bright skies, harsh backlight. These are real problems. Better processing solves real problems. For videographers, the benefits are even more obvious. Dim receptions, indoor gyms, night streets, ugly office lighting. This is where cameras are tested. This is where good processing separates usable footage from footage that looks broken. Now let's talk about video, because that is where expectations are highest. The A7 IV was the first A7 camera that truly felt like a hybrid. It brought 10-bit video, oversampled 4K, S-Log, and S-Cinetone, but it also had compromises. A crop in 4K 60, rolling shutter, heat limitations. If Sony wants the A7V to feel modern in 2025 and beyond, a few things are almost mandatory. Full-frame 4K 60 without a crop is at the top of the list. Canon is already doing it. Users expect it. Nobody wants to constantly calculate crop factors or swap lenses just to maintain framing. Full-frame 4K 60 makes life easier. For YouTubers, for wedding filmmakers, for solo creators, it allows one camera to handle talking heads, B-roll, travel, and client work without friction. Then there is 4K 120. This is where Sony will likely draw some lines. Full-frame 4K 120 with no limits would step on higher-end models. But a realistic scenario is 4K 120 with a crop or recording limits. Even that would be a huge win. Slow motion adds production value instantly. Wedding details, hair movement, product shots, cinematic transitions, sports highlights, smooth B-roll, even limited 4K 120 opens creative doors. What is almost guaranteed? EED is continued 10-bit 4:2:2 internal recording with better codecs. This matters when you edit. You can push grades harder, match cameras more easily, create polished, professional looks without your footage breaking. But specs are meaningless without reliability. Overheating kills shoots, especially in real environments. Summer weddings, outdoor events, long interviews. If the A7V can record 4K 60 or 4K 120 for realistic lengths without shutting down, it becomes a serious tool. This is not something you see on a spec sheet. This shows up in real-world use, and it will decide whether this camera becomes a recommendation or a warning. Now, autofocus. This is where Sony has been leading. The A7V introduced AI subject recognition that feels almost unfair. Humans, animals, birds, partículas, insects. The A9 III pushed this even further. It would be shocking if the A7V didn't inherit much of this intelligence. Imagine shooting a wedding or a sports game, and the camera understands body movement, head direction, and motion. It stays locked. No hunting. No guessing. For video creators, this means confidence. Walk toward the camera. Turn around. Hold products. Move naturally. The camera stays with you. For photographers, it means more keepers. Shooting wide open becomes less stressful. You spend less time worrying about focus and more time capturing moments. This is not just better autofocus. It changes how you work. It frees mental space. It lets the camera disappear. The body itself will not be revolutionary. Sony doesn't need to reinvent it. Expect a comfortable grip, a fully articulating screen, dual card slots with fast media, a better EVF, small refinements that improve daily use. IBIS will still be there, maybe slightly better. Combined with digital stabilization, it should make handheld footage more usable. Not magic, just practical improvements. So, should you wait or buy now? If your camera is making you miss paid work, waiting for rumors is a bad business move. You cannot earn money with a camera you don't own. But if you're on older gear and not under pressure, waiting makes sense. When the A7V launches, either it becomes the obvious choice or it pushes prices down on the A7 IV and A7 III. Both outcomes benefit you. Sony will not lower prices dramatically at launch. Expect similar or slightly higher pricing than the A7 IV. This camera is aimed at serious hobbyists and working creators who need one body to do almost everything. Here's my honest opinion. If Sony delivers dependable full-frame 4K 60, usable 4K 120, strong 10-bit codecs, modern autofocus, and real-world reliability, the A7V will become the default hybrid camera for years. It won't be perfect. No camera is. But it will be balanced. And balance is what builds careers. Until then, keep shooting. Learn your gear. Identify real limitations. When the A7V becomes real, judge it by real tests, not hype. The camera that grows your skills is not always the next one. It's the one you know deeply enough to forget it exists while you tell your story. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with someone who's thinking about buying a camera, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next breakdown.